So recording now. So it's August 20th. So I just want to share some thoughts with you guys about really some key lessons I've learned over the course of the last 5-6 years about, how to build a successful business and how to create leaders in your team. And so the first thing to think about is, think about what kind of culture are you creating for your team. I think it's very easy in the business to start thinking about the how-tos and, the what and the how versus talking about the why. And I think that if you look at all the most successful leaders in Nu Skin, if you look at Jeff Mack and Nathan Ricks, obviously Brent Bryson are more direct upline. You look at these guys, when you hear them speak, you just get so inspired. I know every time I listen to Jeff Mack talk or Nathan Ricks, it's just the vision so clear. It's like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Like, this is what I should be doing for the rest of my life. Yes, there's nothing better out there that I could possibly do to create freedom in my life. And so think about, for yourself, how effective are you in projecting and sharing a vision to others, both in your team and people that you're prospecting, about why Nu Skin, why network marketing, why right now, and where you see yourself going. And so, team lead Charlie Patterson, he came up to Seattle a few years ago and gave a training that I loved. And he talked about, one of my biggest fears previously, because I didn't have much success to show for my time in Nu Skin. And so, it always made me kind of shake when somebody would say, okay, well, what's your pin title, or how much money are you making in Nu Skin? And I'd always, just try to skirt the question. And, I still don't tell people my income, but I can tell my pin title and be proud of that. But what Charlie Patterson said was, he said, people will stop asking you where you are right now, how much you've made, where you're at, when you start projecting a vision of telling people where you're going by when with this business. And so if you think about it for your team, if people lose sight of the vision of why they're doing this, then they start to focus on what's not working. They start to focus on all the reasons why they shouldn't do it, right? This is hard. Nobody responded to my post. My team is quitting. And so it's either, you're either focused on what you don't want, on the negative, or you're focused every day on a vision for the future of, regardless of who says yes, who says no, who stays and who goes, you've got this crystal clear vision of exactly why you're doing this. And Jeff Mack, he talked about at TEU, he said that, if you're kind of trying to think of, well, what is my why? Why am I doing this? And then he said, ask yourself these two questions. What do you love, and what would you die for? And make that your why. And if you really make, that Nu Skin is the way to provide the life that you want for the people you love, or, the things or people you would die for, then to quit Nu Skin would be to quit on the things that you love most. Right. And so if your why is your kids, obviously, you gotta be there for those kids and raise those kids, but be careful not to make also your kids your excuse. Right. And so, when you have a clear vision of why you're doing this, that vision pulls you through maybe those hard times. It pulls you through the slumps, or it pulls you through when somebody quits, because you have a vision of why you're doing this. And so for your teams also, you want to make sure that they have a clear vision of what to look forward to in Nu Skin, right? And so when you are able to share a vision of, where our Nu Skin's going, as we go from being a $2.5 billion company to being a $10 billion company over the next 5 to 7 years, what that's going to look like, right? What that's going to look like is, Nu Skin paying out $5 billion in commissions on an annual basis. And we have the opportunity right now to be at the kind of the ground floor of that happening. And so it's just up to us to decide, what is it that you want your life to look like on the other side of that? Are you going to watch it happen? Are you going to, maybe just kind of treat it real casual? Or are you going to, go out there and create the life that you really want to live? And so as you go out there and as you start to share this vision with people of, where both where Nu Skin is going, as we go from $2.5 billion to $10 billion, and also where you're going in that time frame, what that's going to do, that's going to create a vision that's going to pull people to come with you, right? There may be people that say, yeah, right, you're not going to be a millionaire, you're not going to, you're not going to have success in those things don't work. There's always the critics, right? But as you share that vision of where you're going, and if you can share that with a passion and with with really a conviction, then you're going to attract the people that want to come with you. You're going to attract the people that say, I want that too. And I believe, let's just say this is Todd, right? If Todd, is able to share a clear vision of both where Nu Skin's going and where he's going, then people are going to say, you know what? Like, they're going to borrow Todd's confidence. They're going to say, you know what? Todd believes in this so strongly that, if I just surround myself with Todd, then I think I can be successful too. If I follow Todd's lead, he's got such a strong conviction and belief in what he's doing that it gives other people confidence to say, you know what, then I think I can do it too, right? And so, learning how to share that vision. And so really our job is to create, as leaders, is to create an environment that's free of doubt and fear. That's what we need to do for our teams. And so, you want to think about what kind of example are you setting for your team? Are you somebody that shows up to events? You show up on the conference calls? Are you taking action daily? And really think about, for your team, are you setting the example? Are you actually taking the actions that you would like for your team to take? And so kind of moving forward from here, there's a guy I really like, I'd recommend. He's got some great stuff on YouTube. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And his story is that he was basically, some people are saying they can't get on. So Joe Dispenza, he was in a bike race. You're right. He was on a road bike and he got hit by, I think it's Ford makes it a Bronco, right? It's like a big truck. And he was basically thrown up in the air. He landed on his butt and it smashed all his vertebrae, and he was in the hospital, and these doctors, they wanted him to have this really intense surgery that would basically, confine him to a wheelchair, and he'd never be able to really walk the rest of his life. He just said, I'm not going to accept that. And basically, what he did was, he visualized himself, having the health and having the his body healing. And, he basically says, long story short, that he was able to heal himself with his mind. And he said, if I ever get out of here, then I'm going to spend the rest of my life studying the mind and body connection, right? Of how our thoughts affect our body and affect our lives. And so, there's something that I love, he goes into, John actually introduced me to him. So he goes into like the science behind all the law of attraction and law of vibration and, laws of success. Talks about quantum physics, all that stuff. And so he talks about, it's really funny because he was sharing the story. He was talking to this group of like quantum physicists and really smart people. And he says, how many of you believe that your thoughts have an impact on your life? And they all kind of laugh like, well, duh, of course we do. And he says, okay, well, how many of you woke up this morning and consciously created your future? Okay, how many of you guys woke up this morning and consciously created a mental picture, a vision of exactly how you want to live? And Joe Dispenza, he teaches that we are either defined by memories of the past. Either you're waking up every day and you're living your life defined based off of memories of the past. Maybe that's people on your team quit, or the business has been hard, or you're not where you want to be by now, or you're frustrated, or you're discouraged. Or, you've gone through a divorce, or you've gone through, experiences that make you feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough. Either you're defined by those memories of the past. You're waking up and you're letting those memories dictate your future and your present of what you're going to do today and what you're going to believe is possible for your life. Or you are consciously creating a future and you are deciding what kind of beliefs you want to install in your mind and what kind of future you want to create. And so my question for you is, what is your vision for your life? What's your vision for, your life financially, the type of lifestyle that you want to have? Physically, what do you want your body to look like and feel like? What level of health and fitness do you want to experience? Spiritually, what kind of relationship do you want to have with God, socially, or relationships with your spouse and with your kids, with your family? What kind of social life? Do you want to be surrounded by great friends, or, with people that love and support you? Contribution, what kind of contribution do you want to make on the world? How many lives do you want to impact? How many families do you want to help become financially free through Nu Skin? How many people do you want to help to reach their freedom number, which is the number where you reach the income level where you meet all of your expenses and you can now decide to work because you want to, versus because you have to, right? And so I love this quote from Michael Beckwith. He says that pain pushes you until the vision pulls you. Now, maybe a lot of you guys got started in the business because you had a pain that was pushing you forward, right? A pain that was, there's not enough money, I don't really have the lifestyle that I want to have. What just happened? Let's see. Can you guys still see my screen? Okay, hopefully we're good. Let me know if you guys can still see that same slide. So, basically either a lot of people, they start with this pain that pushes them into the business that makes them say like, yeah, I'm going to do Nu Skin. Okay. Thanks, Landina. Thanks, Lauren and John. But eventually what happens is, you come across some challenges. And as Jeff Mack talked about on Saturday, that success follows challenge. And we learned from, a guy named Derek Bentley. He says that everybody has to go through what's called the bridge of tears, right? That bridge of tears is really that gap between, starting your business to the point where you have, really more of a successful business that can take on a life of its own and operate with or without you, whether that is a Ruby executive or Emerald or Diamond or Blue Diamond, it's that bridge of tears where you're going from, can I really do this, to going through the learning curve and the growing pains to grow into the person that you need to be to have the success you want to have. And for somebody to do that, they have to, there has to be a clear vision. And so that's why you want to start to think about, what is it that both you and the people in your team need to experience so they can have a vision and a belief big enough that's going to pull them through to commit long-term and go through, sometimes a challenging times to be successful, right? So think about, how do you help somebody build a vision of, of what can happen with Nu Skin, right? So maybe it's, they need to see a business presentation. They need to meet other people on the team and hear their stories. So you connect them with your upline. Maybe it's, you do an upgrade call. You need to help them understand the compensation plan and paint that bigger picture for them and show them exactly how through the compensation plan they can reach the goals that they have. And just getting people to an event. I think that everybody, no matter where you are, you can plan ahead and you can make enough money selling products through commissions and doing referral posts to be able to make enough money to buy, sorry, I keep sniffing. Kyla's making fun of me because ever since my surgery, I kind of am a little stuffed up. Basically helping somebody to see the bigger picture, to come and see the company. Teamlit University, as Jeff Mack said, he says, we could go on the road and we could be, it could be a traveling training that we do, but he said, the location is primary for people to come and see the corporate headquarters and touch it and feel it, and the training is secondary, right? And so for you to really become a Ruby or an Emerald or a Diamond or Blue Diamond and really, be able to develop a career here, you want to come and see the company. So start to think about and plan, when are the upcoming events and how can I save up enough money to come and do this and invest in myself and in my business. Okay, so what's my vision personally for myself? I didn't list everything here, but my vision is, to become one of the highest paid people in Nu Skin as we go from $2.5 to $10 billion, to have an income of over, exceeding $150,000 per month, to have, a massive business internationally, to have 1,000+ executives in my downline doing 3 million+ points of volume per month. 4-star Team Elite Platinum, that's the top position in Nu Skin. Team Elite, that's kind of the title, and the 4-star Platinum, those are just, based off of leadership that you've developed. That's, some additional recognition that you can get. My vision is to be able to take, 5+ luxury vacations per year with my family. My vision is to have properties all around the world, Southern California, here in Utah, and in Europe, maybe in Spain or Italy or Greece, be able to have that happen. And so what's going on right now? It's like you're starting to dream again, right? When you actually get in touch with this vision of what it is that you want to accomplish, it's so much easier to say, okay, I don't care who says yes, who says no. I don't care if, some idiot thinks that MLM is dumb and makes fun of it, right? Because I know that this is working in a job. How are you ever going to create this working in a job? How are you ever going to be fully self-employed working in a job? You're maybe making 50, 100, maybe you max out 150 per year, and that's okay. It's like, that's good. That's better than a lot of people, but you're never going to be free. You're never going to be able to, to wake up whenever you want to wake up and have complete control of your time and, really achieve these bigger goals and dreams in your life. Right. And so, when you start to think like that, is it even possible for me to make even $50,000 per month which is the average blue diamond income, working a job? Well, heck no, it's not. You're right. So, realize that this is going to be the best financial vehicle with the lowest barrier and lowest risk for you to be able to get what it is that you want. And so, what happens now is, as you now have this vision of what it is that you want to accomplish, you now have this balance between positive and negative, right? Ignorance and knowledge. And so what I want to do is go through this, take a few minutes. I've shared some of this before, but basically you can either, like, the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. You can either focus on worry and doubt, or you can focus on faith. Okay. So worry and doubt, what that does is that leads to fear, right? That's worrying. Am I going to hit my volume goal this month? Am I going to, ever find people that really want to do this business? Am I going to ever attract great leaders? And what happens is that worry and doubt attracts more like thoughts, which then leads to fear, to thinking, what if this doesn't work out? Oh my gosh. And how am I going to reach my goals that I have? And how am I going to pay the bills? And that leads to anxiety, right? We feel stressed out. We feel anxious. We feel, my business isn't growing. And so, you feel this like dis-ease, right? It leads to, you suppress that anxiety. It leads to depression. You're in this negative vibration. You got this crappy attitude. It leads to dis-ease where you feel uptight. Like I won't name names, but I spoke with someone on the team this morning where, luckily she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm going through a hard time. Can we talk? Right? Having that self-awareness to know when you maybe need a coach or mentor to help you. And we talked about, she's been feeling so uptight and anxious and stressed out, and, this state of dis-ease. And that leads to disintegration, right? That leads to, that fear, which causes confusion, that makes you go into that analysis paralysis and, and overanalyze, is this really working, or should I change my strategy, or, is this ever going to work out for me? Versus, I kind of walked through with her this process of, when you truly understand knowledge and the laws and principles of success, when I'm looking into this Bob Proctor coaching program, they say that I should be studying 1 hour every day, these laws and principles of success, because once I understand that, I'm going to realize that I have complete control to create my destiny, right? I have complete control over what I allow to enter my mind, and what kind of belief systems and self-image I want to create, and what kind of life I want to create for myself. And so, through this study, studying whether it's, a good book, or it's, different laws and principles of success, or, law of attraction, different things like that. When you understand it, these principles of decision and belief, what it does is it creates this faith where he says, okay, regardless of what's going on around me, I have the ability to create my own reality. That what you focus on expands, or whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And so, regardless of if somebody just quit my business, right, executives drop out, or, if you didn't, if you, didn't qualify for the last success trip, you can decide, okay, I am able to, based off of producing new paradigms and belief systems and changing my self-image of how I see myself, I can have the faith, I can actually go out and say, okay, I have the faith that I am going to attract powerful, committed, confident, successful network marketing leaders into my Nu Skin business, right? And, when you truly visualize yourself having already accomplished that vision that you have, then, imagine how you're going to feel, right? I mean, what if you were, let's just say, an emerald executive in Nu Skin, earning $5,000 per month in Nu Skin, and you're qualified for the next success trip. I just want to close your eyes and just think about, you got $5,000 per month coming in whether you work or not, right? You've got an amazing team that continues to grow. You're surrounded by positive people. You're able to, now participate in these success trips and, experience, an all expenses paid cruise to the Southern Caribbean, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, Curacao, Puerto Rico, and, imagine, you'll be able to travel the world with your family and live this life of abundance and freedom and no longer stressing out financially. Like, how does that feel, right? How much confidence and belief would you feel if you were earning $5,000, $10,000 per month in Nu Skin? How grateful would you be? How successful would you feel? What kind of confidence and posture would you have? So think about that, and now compare that to how have you been feeling lately about your business? Have you been feeling stressed out or anxious or lots of fear of what are people going to think about me? And so it's really just up to you guys. Are you going to be defined by memories of the past, or are you going to be defined by a vision for the future and have that faith that you will attract the people, resources, and things that you need to accomplish the goals that you have? Okay, because that faith leads to feelings of being relaxed and being at ease. And what that leads to is being on that vibration, right? That frequency. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So if you're positive, excited about life, and you've got this energy about you, you're going to attract other people that, are excited and that want to do big things in life and that want to go where you're going. And so, a lot of this is just changing. Like Joe Dispenza, he talks about, you're addicted to your thoughts and your feelings, right? It's really easy to be in like a really negative vibration, right? A negative kind of attitude. It's easy for me, to be like, okay, maybe I'm not happy with the growth that I'm having right now. And so it's easy for me to kind of feel like a victim and be frustrated and be in this rut and, kind of be in this crappy attitude and be depressed. It really takes some energy to get yourself out of that and say, okay, stop. Like, okay, you know what? That's just attracting more of the same, more of that disintegration and disease. I'm going to make the decision, even though I don't know how it's going to happen, I will earn $150,000 per month in Nu Skin, right? Or whether for you, maybe it's $1,000 per month in Nu Skin. And once you make that decision, that it's no longer a matter of if you're going to do it, but just a matter of how fast, then, as Sandy Gallagher says, you will find the people, resources, and ideas you need every time. Okay. And so, with this whole process of creating that vision for your life and visualizing yourself, and the whole key to all this, put this in your notes, is I don't care if you're doing affirmations and writing your goals down and visualizing. It doesn't do anything unless you mix emotion with it. Okay. So when you're doing this, you have to get yourself to feel how you would feel if you'd already accomplished those goals that you have. And so it's through the constant and spaced repetition of ideas that are opposite of the paradigm, right? Maybe the results you're currently experiencing. You have to do this, 10 times a day, right? Take 5-10 minutes and get yourself to feel how you'd feel if you'd already accomplished the goals that you have, right? And that constant spaced repetition is going to, over time, change that self-image, that belief system to where, it's no longer a hope or a wish, but you truly believe without an ounce of doubt that you're going to accomplish the goals that you have. Okay. So moving on from here, kind of transitioning to another topic, but a lot of you guys have seen this quote, that says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. It's time to stop playing small, right? It's time to stop being afraid of what other people think, being afraid of failure. It's time to step into your greatness, because it's actually very selfish. I learned this from a guy named Alex Morton. It's actually very selfish for us to not go out and make more money, because the money we make in our business is a result of number of people that we have impacted and helped, right? So, making more money, there's always going to be people out there that are going to, have something dumb to say, something negative to say, right? But what you have to realize is that, like, you have a purpose. You have a purpose here in this life, and you were brought to this business for a reason. And part of your purpose, is maybe to impact the people immediately around you, but also to impact other people around the world who are praying for an opportunity, that are praying for a way to improve their life, and so maybe have some stupid family members, say, laugh at you behind your back. But just like Jeff Mack said, all of his, in-laws were laughing at him. He says, well, they're not laughing anymore. He's earned $20 million in commissions. Well, they're not laughing anymore. And I guarantee you that people wish they could have the life that he has. And so, as you go out there and really let your light shine and get out there and talk with as much passion and conviction and energy and belief, about your vision, where you're going, what you're going to do, you're going to attract the people that want to go where you're going, and your presence will liberate others from their own fear, and they'll buy into your confidence and your vision, and they'll want to follow you to have the success that you're having and that you're going to have. And so the last topic I told you guys, I wanted to share a little bit about my process of how I talk to people about the business, how I get people started. There's lots of great training in the group. Blake and Kalani Bryson, they're awesome. So grateful for them. And, Blake is just so great at getting all this information. And he's talked some about, just get people to post, just get them to post, just get them to post. And there can be some good things come from that because people, they can make money right off the bat. That quick money that can maybe, accelerate in, their belief. But, for me, I'm really looking for, not just people to post, but I'm trying to create leaders, right? I'm trying to take somebody from, okay, how do I take somebody from being a brand new baby to helping them grow and develop and learn and experience the things that they need to have a vision and belief that's big enough to become a leader in the business. And so this is my process. You can screenshot this. Everybody's going to find their own process, but I'm going to reach out, whether it's a phone call, a text, or, I went to lunch with Kyla today and we talked with the guy that we went to Blaze Pizza, cool place, first time there. The guy, he's going back to school. He's a college student. He's looking for a way to make some money throughout the school year that can be flexible. So he's like, hey, let's talk, right? And so, walking and talking and just talking to people. Landina, my pizza was very good. I'm a sucker for pizza. So, okay, let's focus. So, if I reach out to somebody, I'm always going to ask a question and just see if they're open to learning about it, right? I'm not asking them to post. I'm not asking them to buy. I'm not asking them to sign up. I'm not saying, hey, you should join my team. I'm saying, hey, are you open to learning about how to make extra money working from home? Are you open to a way to, on a really flexible basis, be able to create an additional source of income? And our job is to create education and understanding and help people understand what it is that we do, so they can make an educated decision for themselves if they want to participate in this. And so, I like to share, I made a 4-minute video that's for recruiting purposes. I think it's great. There's some other tools out there that are great also for recruiting and sending out to people. So I send that to them, and before I send it, I say, okay, if I were to send you, and if I send you some info, would you be open to taking a look at it, right? So they already commit that they're going to watch it. And then I ask them, okay, great, here you go. How soon can you watch it, right? I create a little bit of a sense of urgency of how quickly can you get to it. And that way I know when to follow up. I never send it and say, okay, great, let me know what you think, because then I'm left in the blue in the dark of like, well, when do I follow up? So I always ask, how soon can they watch it, right? And then I follow up with a message and I say, hey, what did you like from what you saw? And if they like what they see, my goal is to, as fast as I can, is to get them on a phone call, right? I want to take it from online to a phone call. So I say, okay, great. I'd love to chat with you about what your goals are and talk about next steps and how to get started. And so, I set up a phone call. And I say, yeah, your first step is to post about our whitening toothpaste, to learn our social selling system and be able to make some extra money right off the bat. But, I'd love to jump on a phone call, just talk about your goals and explain next steps getting started. So doing that, I get on, I want to take a few minutes and build a relationship, and find out what's going on in their life, what's their why are they motivated to make some extra income? What's their family situation like? Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? Are they, what are they going through in their life? And, find out how their job's going, what's happening, and, find out what their goals are. And I'm also going to share some of my story and say, hey, you know what? Here's what's happened the last year and a half. We've been able to really dive into this thing and create, an amazing business with great people and experience, a totally different lifestyle than what we had a year and a half ago. And so I'm going to share some about the bigger business. And I'm going to say, hey, your first step is to post, but, this is much bigger than just what you can sell from your own personal post, right? And so that way, whether their post sells a bunch or it sells nothing, they already know that they can still build a successful business regardless of whether they sell a lot or not. And I kind of say, hey, how well you do on your post is going to be a reflection of just how active and interactive you've been on social media over the last 6 to 12 months. But yeah, so I get them started posting, and I want to, as quickly as I can, invite them to see a business presentation, right? The Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Time business presentation. I want to invite them to that. Or maybe it's okay, great. I want to give you some homework. Really just want to kind of help you understand the bigger picture, more about the company and the products and what we do. And if I were to send you a recording of a business presentation we did, would you watch it? Right? Okay, great. How soon can you watch it? It's about 20 minutes long. Okay, perfect. Let's follow up. Let's talk then. Also schedule time to do their next post. And that way they're going to get kind of a bigger picture of who is Nu Skin. What's the opportunity? Okay, this is bigger than just doing a post. Could be a career. Oh, look, wow, there's, so many other people doing this. Look at these average incomes. And so then, on our next call, it's really an upgrade call to say, okay, well, let's talk a bit more specific about what your goals are. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to, either have them watch the compensation plan video before we talk, or that's really the best thing to do. That way they already come and I say, okay, great. I'd love to talk about your goals, next steps. You've done your first 1 or 2 posts now. Let's talk about next steps from here. Let's set up a call. Hey, could you watch this video in preparation for our call? It'll make our time a lot more effective. Okay, I get on the call and I talk about, what's your income goal? What would you like to make? If they want to make $500 to $1,000 or more per month, they need to be an executive. So I talk about all the benefits of why they should be an executive versus just be a distributor. And then we set a specific goal by when they want to be an executive, and then also by when they want to hit their income goal. And then from there, I say, okay, great. The next step is to start learning some of the skills. And so I give them some homework and I say, okay, I want you, if I were to tag you and share some videos with you that would teach you, the how-tos of how to invite and recruit and talk to people about the business, and also, how to do referral posts, you can keep making that quick cash and selling products. Would you watch them? They say yes. I say, okay, great. It's about 20, 30 minutes of material. How soon can you watch that? Okay, great. Let's talk then. Then I get on with them and I do a follow-up call with them, typically within the next 24 to 48 hours, answer any questions they have, kind of give them some tips on how I talk to people. I probably give them a challenge to do a referral post. Okay, let's get your first referral post going. And then from there, I say, okay, great. Here's what your goals are. Well, let's make sure we talk about, a daily method of operation. Here's what you should be doing if that's your goal. And if you want to get to $1,000 per month by this time frame, here's what it's going to look like. You should be talking to 3 or 5 or maybe more people per day about the business, just to go through enough numbers to find the people that really want to do this, right? And so we establish a daily method of operation, and then we set up some accountability. I've got, Todd Salmon on here, and he's working towards becoming an executive. And it was actually his idea to say, hey, I want to send to you my activity on a daily basis, at least for my first little bit, just so I can make sure that we have that accountability in place, so that I, create the consistency that's going to lead to, taking enough action to be able to get the results. And then also, I'm going to make sure that they're plugging into the training calls in the morning, into our, from on the One Team Global Facebook page, that they're connecting on our team training calls. And then, make sure they know about when there's going to be the next event, Teamlet University or Success Summit or the San Diego Convention or whatever it's going to be. So that's my process. And then, my last thought, then we'll just open up for Q&A. I went a little longer than I had planned, but, I love this here. This is Roald Dahl talking about his uncle Oswald, and it says, I began to realize how important it was to be an enthusiast in life. My uncle taught me that if you are interested in something, no matter what it is, go at it full speed ahead. Embrace it with both arms, hug it, love it, and above all, become passionate about it. Lukewarm is no good. Hot is no good either. White hot and passionate is the only thing to be. So with that being said, no more playing small. You have a gift to share with people. And so get fired up. Like if you're not getting many people that are responding to you well, maybe you got to check your attitude. Maybe you don't have the really enthusiasm, passion, and conviction you need to speak with and have for people to really catch the vision and feel like something's happening here and feel like you're a leader and someone they want to follow. And so the sooner you can go out there and just, put your heart into it and share your vision with the world, the quicker you're going to find the people that want to follow you and that want to do this with you. And so with that being said, I'm going to end the recording.